The Not So Perfect Prince by Kaye Booth. From Refracted Reflections, Twisted Tales of Duality and Deception anthology, published by WordCrafter Press in 2022. Once upon a time, there was a handsome prince named Geoffrey who traveled across the entire kingdom in search of a wife, but he wasn't able to find one woman who he deemed worthy in all the land. For although there were many beautiful and desirable women within its borders, Prince Geoffrey found at least one flaw with each one. Either she had the wrong hair color, or her skin was too dark, or he didn't like the way she walked, or any number of other traits which he considered to be defects. And when he found such a flaw, he did not hesitate to point them out for all to see, sometimes even ridiculing the poor woman publicly until she ran away in tears. Some even attempted to take their own lives because they were so overwhelmed by the embarrassment of it, so shamed by his public displays. Then, one day, while searching the mountainside and about giving up on the search, he came across a small cabin hidden deep in the woods. Now, Prince Geoffrey was weary and desired a place to stop for the night, so he sent his footman, William, to knock on the door and request food and shelter. A hunchback old hag answered the door. She had a pointed nose so sharp it could put an eye out, and her hair was dirty gray, hanging over her face in long, stringy links, almost down to her knobby knees. "Who are you, and what is it you want?" she asked, pointing a bony finger with a sharp-tipped nail at him. "His Highness Prince Geoffrey wishes to take rest and nourishment here, madame," the footman responded, taking a step back to avoid losing the tip of his nose by that nail. Of course," said the hag, giving a crooked smile which revealed a mouthful of jagged teeth. "I'm willing to provide accommodations for a very reasonable price. Being that he's the prince and all, I'm willing to offer you a very special deal." "You wish compensation from Prince Geoffrey?" the footman said with a puzzled expression. The hag tilted her head to one side, scowling. Why? He can't afford it, can he?" Prince Geoffrey watched the exchange from atop his mount, but although his father's coffers were brimming over with gold and jewels, and he could well afford to pay 10 times any price the old hag might ask, the hag's words aggravated him, stirring his ire. He slid down out of his saddle, landing on the ground with a loud thud, and confronted his potential hostess. "Old woman, what's the matter with you?" he said in a gruff voice. "Do you not pay tribute to your king? How dare you ask a price from me for your services, you old ugly biddy? Why, I wouldn't sleep in your dirty hovel anyway. Why don't you go take a bath and clean this place up?" Instead of begging his pardon from the reprimand as expected, the hag turned and pointed her sharp bony finger at Prince Geoffrey's face, making a small slice across the perfect skin of his cheek. "Don't you talk to me like that, young man. Prince or not, I am still your elder," she hissed at him. "Oh, I know you. You have no respect for your elders, and no respect for women, I hear." She took a step back and opened her hand, blowing her breath toward him, and with it a magic powder which she held concealed, blowing it right into his face. A puff of smoke surrounded him. "If you're going to act like a toad, you should be one." The footman stepped forward, and she turned toward him. She blew the remainder of her magic powder on William, followed by a smaller puff of smoke. "Not one word from you, you old goat." When the smoke cleared, before the hag, where the footman and Prince Joffrey had been, there was now a brown billy goat and a small green frog. The billy goat bleated. The frog croaked. "I'd pity the girl who had to marry you. Let's see you find a wife now," the hag said to the frog, cackling an evil laugh before going back into her cabin and slamming the door behind her.